Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
A frantic search for whoever shot an 8-year-old boy as he slept in his bed. The very latest on the hunt for the gunman.
So much needed rain and even snow finally returning to California. It's already hitting up north and it's on its way down here.
The Bulls take over Hollywood Boulevard tonight at the premiere of Nicholas Sparks' romantic drama, The Longest Ride. We're live with the premiere and the protest. Good evening. I'm Rudabe Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan.
And I'm David Ona. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. Investigators are asking for your help finding a gunman whose stray bullet struck an 8-year-old boy as he slept, critically injuring him. It happened in the 11,000 block of Wagner Street in Del Rey. Investigators are not only looking for the suspect, they're looking for a motive. And Eyewitness News reporter Giovanna Lara has the very latest.
This is the young 8-year-old boy who was shot in the head last night as he slept in his own bed. Authorities are not releasing his name, but they are releasing his picture. And this afternoon, they're asking for the public's help to find the gunman responsible.
Please know that anytime a member of our community is a victim of violent crime, we take that very serious, particularly when a young child is victimized in his own home.
Authorities say the suspect walked in through the unlocked front door of the family's Del Rey home shortly before midnight last night, and after a brief confrontation with the boy's father, opened fire. One of the bullets penetrated a wall and hit the boy in the head. Police say the family did not recognize the suspect, who is only described as a male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt. The motive unknown.
We encourage anyone that has any information regarding any vehicle in the area, anything that may have been heard or said, to come forward and please report it.
If you have any information about the suspect, the shooting, if you saw anything at all, police are urging you to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That number one more time, 1-800-222-8477. Giovanna Lara, ABC7 Eyewitness News. A reputed gang member pleaded not guilty today to capital murder and robbery in the stabbing death of a Cabrillo High School student. 18-year-old Giovanni Montalongo is accused of stabbing 15-year-old Keyshawn Brooks while trying to snatch his backpack last month. Brooks was attacked as he walked home from school. Prosecutors are still deciding whether to pursue the death penalty if Montalongo is convicted. He's due back in court in July. Manhattan Beach detectives are hoping you can help lead them to the suspect who sexually assaulted a woman on the stand. It happened yesterday early in the morning. Police say a man was forced to lie down in the sand while the woman he was with was attacked. News of the assault is affecting residents in the area. They say that part of the beach is usually fairly quiet at that time of night.
Very scary because Manhattan Beach is pretty much a fairly safe place.
It's horrible. I guess it can happen anywhere. But no one likes to be confronted with something like that.
The suspect is described as a Hispanic man in his late 20s, 5'7", with a thin build, a bald head, and a thin mustache. He was wearing a gray hoodie and blue jeans.
Well, we do have some good news. A welcome sight for drought-stricken California. Snow has been falling in the Sierra, and more is on the way. This was the scene yesterday in Blue Canyon off Interstate 80. 7 to 9 inches of snow was recorded. A second storm is moving in tonight, likely to bring another 6 inches of snow to higher elevations. And that new storm will be heading our way. And Jonathan Novak is here with a first look at our forecast.
We love it. Finally, we're talking about it's late season and the rainy season, but we're talking about some rain, some snow. Live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. Check that out up in the northern portions of California. Some moderate to heavy rain, some lightning strikes south of Eureka, and this is heading our way. Rain, a lot of snow for the High Sierra and snow in our area here in Southern California expected. Let me give you at least a little bit of that timeline to start you off here for the rest of tonight in through tomorrow and the future rainfall forecast. That rain that you were just looking at sweeps through the center part of the state. This is all snow through the Sierra, and this is Tuesday at noon. Already some shower activity possible at that point for the northwest counties here in Southern California. And bring it through a little bit further, and you will see that actually we'll have some rainfall going into the afternoon time. Today, though, was dry. We'll take a closer look in at that detailed rainfall forecast and how long the rain will last. Coming up in that full 7 in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jonathan. You're welcome. You can be ready for the rain before the first drops fall. Download the free Mega Doppler weather app and put the power of the Mega Doppler right in your pocket. It's available in the App Store or Google Play. Just search all one word, Mega Doppler.
Firefighters came to the rescue of 2 hikers who were trapped on a side of a cliff near Point Mugu this afternoon. The 2 young women got stuck on a precarious spot 50 feet above the ground. It happened along the 9,000 block of Pacific Coast Highway, about a mile south of Sycamore Cove. Rescuers first dropped helmets to the women. Firefighters then used a ladder truck to reach them, allowing them to climb down to safety. Neither of the women were hurt. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti is leading a charge in support of President Obama's immigration policy. He, along with a coalition of more than 70 cities and counties, filed a brief in Texas federal court. It supports the president's executive orders on immigration, which were blocked earlier this year by a Texas judge. The brief argues that blocking the implementation of such orders causes harm to local governments and families. President Obama wants to shield up to 5 million undocumented immigrants from possible deportation. And the rush of undocumented immigrants trying to get driver's licenses has led to a big backup. The California DMV says it has received nearly 500,000 applications since the new law took effect. Officials say the demand is much more than expected, and it could take twice as long to review all of those applications. The new law allows those in the state illegally to get a driver's license with identification from their home country.
Cold-blooded terrorist or simply an accomplice, the fate of alleged Boston bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev goes to the jury tomorrow. As Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson tells us, the jurors will likely have to decide whether he should live or die.
Survivors of the Boston Marathon bombing arrive for closing arguments that leave many of them and some jurors in tears. Prosecutors replay some of the most dramatic and bloody images of the blast that injured hundreds and killed 3. In court, the prosecutor points at defendant Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, saying that he and his brother Tamerlan considered themselves to be soldiers who were, quote, bringing their battle to Boston. He shows this photo of Dzhokhar in front of a jihadi flag inside his dorm room and reminds the jury of the words that Dzhokhar reportedly wrote on the boat he was captured in. Quote, stop killing our people and we will stop. Tsarnaev's attorney admits that the bombing itself was, quote, senseless, admits that Dzhokhar had a role in it, but she claims that his brother Tamerlan was the real mastermind.
Defense shows the picture of Dzhokhar following Tamerlan through those pictures, showing that he was just a follower.
17 of the 30 charges Tsarnaev is facing carry the possibility of the death penalty. If he's found guilty of any of them, the sentencing phase of this trial could take weeks.
The jury is made up of 7 women and 5 men. Their deliberations are expected to begin tomorrow morning. But because there are 30 counts, it's expected those deliberations could last for several days. Reporting from the newsroom, Alex Michelson, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
There may be a new nuclear agreement with Iran, but one Israeli official says his country is still keeping its options open. A senior Israeli government minister warns taking military action against Iran's nuclear program is still a possibility. Israel believes the deal leaves too much of Iran's nuclear infrastructure intact, which could allow Iran to produce a nuclear weapon. President Obama is now working to sell the deal to critics and Congress. A Senate committee is expected to consider legislation that would give Congress final review on any deal with Iran.
That it's the responsibility of the President of the United States, any President of the United States, to conduct the foreign policy of the United States of America. That there is a concerted effort in Congress to undermine the negotiations or undermine the successful implementation of the agreement.
President Obama has vowed to veto that bill. The final deadline for the deal is June 30th.
It's a Hollywood red carpet event that's not only drawing stars and fans, it's also drawing protests. There's a complete rodeo, complete with live bulls, in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard for tonight's premiere of the new film, The Longest Ride. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter is live in Hollywood. And Leanne, this is causing an outcry from members of PETA.
It certainly is. That's right, Rutabaga. PETA says that there's nothing romantic about tormenting bulls, and they say that's what the movie The Longest Ride is all about. You see live behind me here, Hollywood Boulevard shut down for the movie's premiere tonight, and this is why. Just take a look. This is the scene in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard as professional bull riders take over Hollywood for the premiere of The Longest Ride. It is the film adaptation of Nicholas Sparks' best-selling novel, and PETA says bull riding is a cruel sport in which animals are abused, and they say that is at the center of that movie. Now just take a look. More than 24 protesters have gathered outside the premiere. This was the scene this evening here on Hollywood Boulevard. PETA supporters say electric prods and painfully tight buckle straps are used on all the animals. Now Professional Bull Riders Incorporated, which set up the bull ride here in Hollywood tonight and took part in the movie, says they are committed to ensuring the health, safety and welfare of every animal that enters a PBR arena, but PETA officials say more could have been done.
This movie could have been made without hurting extra animals. And before the movie was even in production, we wrote to the studio and the filmmakers asking them to use existing rodeo footage or just to film a rodeo that was already happening. But they ignored that, and they created their own rodeo, putting animals further in danger, and they're doing it again here today in full view of everybody.
And in a statement, the Professional Bull Riders Incorporated says, quote, the care and treatment of PBR bulls is a top priority to those who govern and or participate in PBR events. The organization operates under a zero-tolerance policy for any mistreatment of any animal associated with PBR. Back live now, lots of visitors here that have turned out on Hollywood Boulevard. Certainly we're surprised to see a bull ride right here in the heart of Hollywood. Certainly time will tell, though, if that bull ride and all of that action with those animals will have any impact on the movie's outcome. Live in Hollywood, Leanne Suter, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Always something going on in Hollywood, Leanne. Thank you for that report. Now, up next, a sigh of relief for a road rage survivor.
Weeks after she was shot in the head, police announced a big break in the case. The latest development.
Plus, Ronda Rousey's new book banned from Walmart shelves. Who's making that claim and why?
And a family spring vacation takes a dangerous turn. Their first statement on the incident that nearly killed them. Coming up. An arrest has been made after a road rage shooting in Houston, Texas. Kay Hafford was shot in the back of the head after honking at a driver who cut her off. Deputies arrested a man and have found the car and possible weapon used in the shooting. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the latest.
Do you have something to say to the victim?
Police in Houston, Texas arrested 22-year-old Dietrich Evans, the man they believe shot Kay Hafford while she was driving to work.
This is where it happened.
On the loose for 17 days, neighbors are shocked.
I didn't know we was this close to a monster.
Doctors had to remove bullet fragments from her skull.
His mission, although it was to kill me, and I'm still living, I know that's killing him.
Police also believe they found the car and the possible weapon used in the shooting last month. It was Hafford's early description that helped lead to the arrest.
I told 911 operator that I think I had been shot.
While she was in and out of consciousness, she was able to save herself and perhaps others.
You may be in a situation like I am, but you may not make it.
You might remember when Hafford was released from the hospital, she told reporters she was too afraid to go home while the shooter was still on the loose, and that was a sentiment echoed by other residents in Houston. Hafford also had a word of warning to other commuters not to retaliate if they find themselves on the road with an aggressive driver. In Los Angeles, Kana Whitworth, ABC News.
Superstar MMA fighter Ronda Rousey has won all 10 of her bouts, barely making her sweat in any of them, but the bantamweight champ may be smarting over a retail giant's reported decision to ban her new book from store shelves. Rousey's new book, entitled My Fight, Your Fight, will be released next month. According to the report from the New York Post, Walmart considers the book too violent for its shoppers, but not the online shoppers. Walmart says customers can reportedly order it online and then do a store pickup.
Forget the pokes, memes, and game invitations. Here's a Facebook post sure to get your attention. We're getting divorced. A judge has given a New York City woman permission to file for divorce on Facebook. The couple married in 2009, and the husband has more or less vanished, although he does occasionally check in with his wife on Facebook. So the judge says she can, in effect, serve divorce papers through a private Facebook message. She's allowed to send the divorce notice once a week for 3 weeks or until he acknowledges it.
Strange. All right, let's talk about our weather. Luckily, we are actually going to get some rain, and Northern California is already seeing it. Here's Jonathan.
Yeah, rain, snow, David, folks. Late season storm coming through, and it means some good news for us here in Southern California. Live Megadoppler 7000 HD right now. Of course, we're dry, but some high clouds ahead of what is a cold front that will swing through Southern California. It looks like for the Tuesday into Wednesday time frame here, you see the northern portions of the state, some rainfall already through Eureka, some heavy rain and some lightning strikes, in fact. Let's take a look and see what's happening earlier today through now. We had, again, some high clouds ahead of the system, but everything looked beautiful. In fact, we were cool. 67 was our high in downtown, below average, and that is, again, below average cool weather is going to stay there for tomorrow as this cold front comes through. This is it right here. You can see this area low pressure spinning real clearly right here on the Pacific Northwest. That's going to lift around into the east, northeast, and behind it, again, cooler air is going to filter on in, and that's going to lift that cold front. It's going to lift that moisture, and we're going to start seeing some showers, maybe a couple of storms as we look in through the forecast for the Ventura County area. But on top of it all, snow in the mountains. The future rainfall, let me bring it from tonight in through Tuesday, and you'll see right around 8 a.m. already some looks like some readings around the Santa Barbara area as the leading edge of the front is moving in. Then right around noontime, we start seeing some heavier activity possible around Santa Barbara, Ventura, and LA counties. Snow throughout the High Sierra. And then in the afternoon, that's when the best chance of showers, it looks like, is going to be. Let's zoom on in. I'll show you that right here, starting you off at noontime, bringing you through about 5 p.m. or so. Some heavy activity around Santa Clarita down to Burbank. This green indicating some light rainfall, and this is snowfall you see here in the mountains. So could see 2 to 4 inches or more, even maybe 6 in the mountain areas. This is 11 p.m. and the southern counties, you'll be waiting until about then to get some of this activity, and by then it looks like only some light rainfall possible. By Wednesday morning, we're clearing most of it out, although we can't rule out some isolated lingering light rain maybe in the mountains in the early morning time frame from 7 to 9 a.m. I should say, as we look ahead into the midweek time frame. So for the 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County, powered up by AccuWeather, tomorrow it looks like in the afternoon and the evening that's the best chance for some showers, maybe a couple of storms in the northern counties around Santa Barbara and Ventura County. Otherwise, light to moderate rain totaling a quarter to a half of an inch. In the mountains, could see about an inch of rain, and in the spots that get that snow level, which is going to be around 5,000 feet, could see 2 to 6 inches. Valleys, IE, you've got an 80% shot at some showers as well. Of course, everybody's in there for some rain tomorrow in through Wednesday. Then after that, it looks like Thursday on, everybody's starting to warm up. Thursday's warmer. We're mild on Friday, Saturday, and some sunshine around. We're going to keep it dry as well from Thursday on. But for the beach, tomorrow, a few showers could total maybe half an inch of rain for you guys for the same time period, Tuesday through early Wednesday. The mountains, again, 2 to 5, maybe 6 inches of snow, and a cold day on top of it to boot, 40 for a high. 45 on Wednesday. It will stay breezy behind that front, and we'll get you into the 50s from Thursday on. And the high desert, you too could see a couple of showers, not a lot, but maybe a quarter of an inch, making it over into the Antelope Valley there with highs only reaching 56 tomorrow, but you are back in the 70s with nice weather from Thursday on through the rest of that forecast. More weather coming up in a little bit. Back to you guys for this.
We are excited. Thank you, Jonathan.
Love it.
What was supposed to be a dream spring vacation in the Virgin Islands has turned into a nightmare for a family from Delaware. The entire family became ill after being exposed to a highly toxic pesticide at a luxury resort in the island of St. John. As ABC's Lindsay Davis reports, the EPA is now investigating.
A Department of Justice investigation is underway, looking into why members of this family are fighting for their lives.
I've never seen anything like this.
The Esmonds were planning to spend a week at this luxurious resort in St. John, but their vacation in paradise cut short when, according to the EPA, only a few hours after they checked into a second-floor condo, the entire family started feeling seriously ill without any warning. Within hours, all four were rushed to the hospital, 3 of them on ventilators. The couple's 2 teen boys suffering seizures. The EPA says methyl bromide, a colorless, odorless gas, may be to blame, saying they believe the same day the family checked in, the condo below theirs was sprayed with the pesticide to kill an indoor bug.
It can really damage your nervous system. It can cause long-term and short-term neurological problems. It can cause brain damage.
On March 23rd, the parents and their 14 and 16-year-old sons were airlifted to U.S. hospitals.
They're one of those families that everyone likes to be around, and it's just horrible.
The EPA says Terminix, a pest control company that operates in the U.S., applied the pesticide, which is legal, but was banned for indoor residential use in the U.S. more than 3 decades ago. Terminix telling ABC News, we're cooperating with authorities in their investigation and conducting our own thorough investigation in the matter.
And that was ABC's Lindsay Davis reporting. The family released a statement today thanking everyone for their support and questioning why such a toxic pesticide would be used in a residential area. The 2 boys remain in critical condition. The mother has been discharged and is doing well. The father's improving and is in stable condition.
An Easter egg hunt at the California State Capitol devolved into a violent free-for-all. Parents shoving kids out of the way to get the eggs. A closer look.
Ahead at 7:30, state lawmakers working to ban vaccine exemptions in California. Details plus reactions from all sides.
teach you hallelujah. Girl, teach you hallelujah. Girl, teach you hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Michelle Obama, the First Lady of Funk, she was busting a move to Uptown Funk with a So You Think You Could Dance All-Stars at the White House. They got on stage and danced to celebrate the 5th anniversary of their Let's Move campaign to end childhood obesity. Mrs. Obama called on people to share on social media the 5 ways that they're leading healthier lives.
Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan got in on the action at the annual White House Easter egg roll today. This year's theme is #Gimme5, which is part of Michelle Obama's campaign to get young people to live healthier, more active lives. Along with the egg roll, there were sports. The president got in on some hoops, fitness zones, cooking demonstrations, and more. The White House egg roll dates back to 1878 when President Hayes held the first one.
What was supposed to be a record-setting Easter egg hunt in Sacramento didn't go as smoothly as the White House Easter egg roll. The goal was to set a record for the world's biggest Easter egg hunt. It started off just fine as kids collected some of the 500,000 plastic eggs scattered across the Capitol lawn. But then the parents started jumping in, which was against the rules. It turned into a mob scene with arguments, and in the end, it didn't even matter because it turns out there was a shipping delay with some of the eggs. They didn't get there in time for Guinness to certify the event, so there wasn't a world record.
It's always the parents who are more badly behaved than the kids.
Always.
All right, well, we're updating the evening's top stories next at 7:30, including a controversial new bill that would require all California children to get their vaccines before enrolling in school.
Plus, the fraternity at the center of the Rolling Stones' botched article on a rape at the University of Virginia fires back why it says a public apology isn't enough.
And some help for local small business owners who lost customers due to metro rail construction. All next on Eyewitness News at 7:30 on LA56.
live from ABC7. This is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Top story at 7:30, the search for a gunman who left an 8-year-old boy with critical injuries. I'm David Ono.
I'm Rudabeh Shabazi in for Colleen Sullivan. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. The young boy was shot in the head last night while sleeping in his Delray home. Authorities say the suspect walked in through the front unlocked door and had a brief confrontation with the boy's father and then opened fire. One of the bullets pierced the wall and hit the boy in the head. Police say the family did not recognize the suspect, who's described only as a male wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt.
Detectives in Manhattan Beach need your help to find a suspect who sexually assaulted a woman on the beach. Investigators say the suspect walked up to a man and a woman early yesterday morning, told them he had a gun, made the man lie face down in the sand, and attacked the woman. But the man was able to get away and call for help. The suspect ran. He's described as Hispanic, in his late 20s. He's 5'7" tall with a thin build, a thin mustache, wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt.
Could vaccination exemptions soon be banned? This week, state lawmakers are looking into new legislation that would prohibit parents from opting out of their kids' vaccinations like measles and whooping cough for personal or religious reasons. Eyewitness News Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan shows us who's backing the bill, and he has reaction from parents.
For as many people we talked with who were in favor of the bill,
but I agree that you should vaccinate your children.
We found people who were against it.
I don't think it's a good idea because I think it should be the parents' choice.
Some think mandatory vaccinations are a good idea.
Just for the safety of everybody's children, everybody should be vaccinated.
I think it's important that families get those for the children.
But others say the choice should lie with parents.
I think forcing children to do anything is not right. I think parents should be able to raise a child how they, according to their beliefs.
They could be stepping on their religious freedom. You know, we do have a constitution last time I checked that still honors that.
California State Senator Richard Pan, a pediatrician, is one of the people behind the bill.
And we can't have people fearing to go outside, to go to their school, to go to a store, to get on public transport, to go to a theme park because they're worried about catching a disease like measles.
As for people who refuse to get their children vaccinated,
certainly you have a choice still to decide whether to vaccinate your child or not. However, that choice has consequences. If you decide you don't want to vaccinate your child, you can still do that. You'll just have to homeschool your child so they're not with other children where they may actually be able to infect other children.
So what's the time frame on this bill? Well, it first needs to get through the Health Committee, then the Education Committee, the Judicial Committee, and the Finance Committee. Only then would it be up for a vote, so still a long way to go. In Riverside, Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Another big story, stormy weather headed our way, and Jonathan Novak is here with the first check of our forecast. Hey, Jonathan.
We love it. Finally, talking about some rain, some snow. That live Megadoppler 7000 HD, not here yet, of course, but not that far away. Let's check out what's happening to the north part of the state. And, yeah, there's already some rain, some heavy rain, in fact, around Eureka, and some lightning and some snow. Way up there in the mountains, and the High Sierra should see plenty of rainfall and snow as we go into the next 24 hours. For us, I'll just give you a quick preview here going into the afternoon is when we start seeing on Tuesday the chance of rain on the increase. I will tell you when the heaviest rain will be, how long it lasts, coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Outrage in Sacramento over a judge's order to provide a transgender inmate with sex reassignment surgery. It's still under review, but if the operation happens for 51-year-old transsexual inmate Jeffrey Norsworthy, who goes by Michelle, it would be the first in state prison history. But State Assembly Minority Leader Kristen Olson is demanding the Corrections Department appeal the ruling, saying it's an injustice to taxpayers and to the victim's family.
As long as we have legitimate needs in this state related to the lack of water, related to our universities' inability to accept more students, that's where our resources should go to. It is a gross injustice to taxpayers to be spending this kind of money on elective surgeries for inmates.
The surgery is expected to cost more than $100,000. Olson suggests raising the money through crowdfunding websites.
Former football player Darren Sharper was back in court today, this time in New Orleans. He's accused of drugging women with the intention of raping them. Sharper has already pleaded no contest to similar charges here in Los Angeles and guilty to charges in Nevada and Arizona. Today he pleaded not guilty, but that's a legal formality for the time being. He is expected to plead guilty at a later appearance. Today's hearing was in federal court. Sharper is due in a Louisiana courtroom tomorrow to face state rape charges. And tonight, a University of Virginia fraternity is vowing to seek legal action against Rolling Stone magazine. This in the wake of a scathing report that found several flaws in a story about an alleged gang rape at a frat party.
The investigation's conclusion is blunt. Rolling Stone's bombshell article was bad journalism.
That kind of attribution, opaqueness, is just a ticket to trouble. It's also bad journalistic practice.
Columbia concluded the magazine published the article about a brutal alleged gang rape at UVA at a frat party, even though the reporter and her editors failed to check even the most basic details of the story, failed to give the accused a fair opportunity to respond, and allowed their trust in one source to override the basic tenets of investigative journalism. That source was the alleged victim, a woman identified only as Jackie. A 5-month investigation by Charlottesville, Virginia police led to this conclusion in late March.
There is no substantive basis to conclude what is described in that article happened that night.
UVA's president said in a statement, quote, "Irresponsible journalism unjustly damaged the reputations of many innocent individuals and the University of Virginia," unquote. Students say the article will have a lasting impact on the UVA community.
To have this one story represent all sexual assaults across campuses is really detrimental to our efforts.
Columbia found the blame did not lie with Jackie, but solely with Rolling Stone. The magazine has retracted the story, but nobody will lose their jobs over the piece.
Virginia's Phi Kappa Psi fraternity today announced it would pursue all available legal action against Rolling Stone for what it calls reckless reporting.
It's costing you less to fill up your gas tank these days, and experts say these lower prices may stick around. AAA says gas prices in California have fallen about a penny a day for the last month. The state's average is now $3.15 a gallon. According to the Auto Club, the price drop comes from the state's supply starting to normalize after a rough few months.
We were having a strike. There was an explosion at a Torrance refinery. All of those things are working themselves out.
According to AAA, prices could drop even more if the cost of oil continues to dip. The Auto Club also says if there's no major change in the supply, prices should stay around $3 a gallon for the summer.
Business owners being impacted by construction of a rail line in the Crenshaw district are getting their money back. Today, Metro reimbursed 4 businesses so they can survive amid the street digging. Eyewitness News reporter Robert Olguin has the details.
Chain-link fences, road closures, and heavy equipment are all part of the new normal along this stretch of Crenshaw Boulevard as construction crews work on the expansion of the light rail line between 48th and 60th Streets.
It's been hard because there's no parking.
Gilbert Castillo owns First Choice Traffic School along Crenshaw Boulevard.
Many customers, they don't want to walk to our business. They just don't want to park 2 blocks away and just walk to our business.
Castillo today became one of the first to be awarded a grant from Metro's Business Interruption Fund, meant to help small businesses that are adversely affected by the ongoing expansion of the city's light rail system.
5 rail lines simultaneously, more than any place in the country.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti and other local officials took part in a news conference this morning, highlighting the first recipients of the grants.
We want small businesses to thrive, but small businesses can't thrive if they're not alive.
Metro has set aside $10 million annually to fund the program. Small businesses along the affected areas are eligible for grants of up to $50,000.
I just would like to let the other business owners know that it's in their best interest to move forward with the program because it does work.
In order to qualify for a grant, a small business must have no more than 25 employees, and it must have been open for at least 2 years. Also, the businesses must prove that they've actually suffered a loss in business as a result of the construction.
We ought to be bigger than giving lip service to small business. If we say that they are the backbone of our economy, then we shouldn't be trying to break their backs.
The grants that are awarded by Metro do not have to be paid back. Metro says thousands of small businesses could be eligible for the grants. Construction on the expansion is expected to continue for the next 4 years. Reporting from the newsroom, Robert Olguin, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Just ahead, the Dodgers open the season with a win, but for a second straight season, many fans couldn't get Dodger games on TV. Tonight, they're sounding off.
Plus, another reason to quit smoking, how cigarette smoke affects superbugs.
And a local mother of 4 needs your help to survive. How she's hoping to defy the odds. Straight ahead.
If you're still struggling to stop smoking, there's a new reason to quit. Superbugs. According to a just-released study, antibiotic-resistant bacteria gets meaner, nastier, harder to kill when exposed to cigarette smoke. Researchers say smoking makes superbugs such as MRSA even stronger, and they believe smoke can stress out invasive bacteria and make them more aggressive. The study found that more smoke inhaled, the stronger the bacteria seem to be.
One local mother of 4 is asking that you listen to her story. She needs a bone marrow match, and as health specialist Denise Sador tells us, her life depends on it.
While Rui Garay was pregnant with her 1-year-old daughter Brooke, she felt weakness and unusual back pain. Her doctors thought it was just part of her pregnancy, but a few weeks after delivery, her fiancé Joseph knew something was seriously wrong.
I passed out, and he took me to urgent care and said, something is wrong with her. It's got to be her kidney or something. We need to do some blood tests.
A bone biopsy and a body scan revealed a diagnosis this 36-year-old Corona mother of 4 could not believe.
They came in and said, yeah, you have multiple myeloma, and it's about like between 70 and 80% of your blood is cancer.
Her best chance of surviving, a bone marrow transplant. None of her siblings were a match, and being of Cambodian descent, Rui's odds of finding one are very slim, a fact hard to hide from her children.
And then my daughter came and was like, Mommy, are you going to die? I'm like, no, I'm just very sick right now. And she was just start crying.
I couldn't live without her. I love her very, very deeply. She's truly, truly my best friend.
Of the 12 million people in the National Bone Marrow Registry, only 7% are Asian, and only a small fraction of that are Southeast Asian.
The person's best chance is to find is a person who comes from the same ancestry or the same genetic background.
City of Hope's Dr. Elizabeth Buddy says it only takes a cheek swab to register. Donating the needed stem cells can be as easy as donating blood.
A lot of the stem cells will travel in the blood. That's how we can collect them. It's actually the most popular way to collect stem cells nowadays.
For now, Rui's in remission, so she needs a match as soon as possible while she's in this window.
So my only chance is to find someone out there that's a match for me.
Rui is working with an organization called A3M to help set up bone marrow drives, including one at the Cambodian New Year celebration in Long Beach. You can call A3M or be the match for more info. In the newsroom, Denise Tador, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Rain is on the way. Meteorologist Jonathan Novak has his complete forecast up next.
Plus, highlights of the Dodgers against the Padres from the Ravine, and we'll show you how the Angels did in their season opener in Seattle. Rain finally headed our way. Let's head over to meteorologist Jonathan Novak.
Yes, Rita Bay folks, we're talking rain and snow for the Tuesday-Wednesday time frame. For now, we are dry on that live Mega Doppler 7000 HD, but northern portions of the state seeing some rain and snow already with a cold front moving through. Look at that around Tahoe and then off to the west around the Eureka area. Some heavy rainfall. In fact, you see here some lightning strikes offshore, and Redding getting some light rain, even some light readings around San Francisco at the moment. It's all going to be moving south to southeast overnight. By tomorrow, we're talking about some shower activity here. But Big Bear today, looking at some clouds moving in. There's some high clouds as well around the area ahead of this next system. You can see it really well here in the satellite and radar imagery. This is a trough here, and this area low pressure that's up in the Pacific Northwest spinning counterclockwise right there. You see that very nicely, and attached to that is a cold front that will be moving through the center portion of the state, the timing of which I'll show you right now is going to be in the afternoon time, Tuesday into the evening time, with a lingering shot on Wednesday. So let's get specific. This is 8 a.m. Our model here, computer model run, has some showers already moving in, possibly around Santa Barbara, the leading edge of that front, right to the west-northwest of the Santa Barbara County area. We head through Tuesday at noon, and that's when I think the best chances will start for the Southern California area through about 5, 6 p.m. and then even to the nighttime as well. We can't rule out a possible storm even through the afternoon and early evening in probably the Ventura County area. The future rainfall a little bit closer in. I picked it up from noon where we just left off, getting a little bit closer in for some detail. Around 5 p.m., the yellow here indicating some heavy rain potentially, and this is through the LA County, even stretching back west toward Ventura County, and starting to get right there on Big Bear around the 5 p.m. time frame. Through the evening time, if you're out in the southern counties, I'd say Riverside, Orange County, portions of San Bernardino County, you'll have to wait a little longer, until about 11 p.m. or so, for some of that shower activity to move through, and it would be in the shape of some light rain. So not great rainfall totals down to the south. But in the meantime, all this is happening. We have some snow potentially through the mountains, up to 6 inches of snow. Probably 2 to 4 overall, but that's through the evening time too. Now, Wednesday, 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m., it's pretty much wrapped up by that point. So you can count on a pretty good Wednesday once this front is out of here. But the temperatures are going to be really cool the next couple of days. 62 in Los Angeles, 66 in Riverside. We hit 67 today. And then we're looking at about that temperature, 67 for Wednesday in your 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County. We'll be wet, though, Tuesday afternoon and evening and lingering into Wednesday. And then from Wednesday afternoon on, we're looking like I think the weather's going to be dry. Now, Friday night into early Saturday, there may be there's a slim risk, about 10-15% for some showers, but we're keeping it out of the forecast right now. Valleys, IE, you as well, 80% shot at some showers Tuesday into early part of Wednesday, and then nice and dry and warm from that point on. Beaches, you too, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of the beach. Everybody else is looking like about 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more around the mountain areas, and you also could see about 2 to 5 inches of snow, the snow level around 5,000 feet and above in the mountains. In the high desert, about 1/4 inch of rain here with this system, and then from that point on Wednesday on, we're looking dry. Rain's back, guys, thankfully.
Thankfully. All right, Jonathan, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's opening day for Major League Baseball. The Dodgers open the season against San Diego. National League MVP and Cy Young Award winner Clayton Kershaw was on the mound, but it was the newest Dodgers that provided the win. The Dodgers kicking off their 68th season in Los Angeles. Fans didn't have much to cheer about until the 4th inning. Adrian Gonzalez takes James Shield out of the yard. The solo shot to right field ties the game at 1. Then Matt Kemp, he got a warm welcome from fans, and he treats his old teammate Clayton Kershaw rudely. He had an RBI single in the 1st inning, then drives in 2 more runs with a double in the 5th to put the Padres up 3-2. Clayton gave up 3 runs in 6 innings of work, striking out 9. But the new guys bring L.A. back. 7th inning, after an Adrian Gonzalez double, Howie Kendrick does the same, finding the gap in the right center. Agon plates for the tying run. And then in the 8th, game still tied at 3 with 2 on. J-Roll, Jimmy Rollins, goes deep for the first time as a Dodger. The 3-run home run is the difference. The Dodgers with a crowd-pleasing 6-3 win. Angels opening up the season in the road to Emerald City, and you can't get a better start than this if you're Mike Trout, the reigning AL MVP, with a solo home run in the 1st inning off Felix Hernandez. But that would be the only run Hernandez would give up. The Seattle Mariners got to Jared Weaver in the 3rd. The game tied at 1. Robinson Cano gives the M's the lead, and the base knock brings home Seth Smith for a 2-1 lead. Then in the 5th, Dustin Ackley muscles up, takes this off, Weaver off the fence or over the fence. Weaver gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. The Angels fall 4-1. That's the final. Lisa Leslie headlines the Naismith Hall of Fame newest class. The Morningside High standout one scored 101 points in the first half of a game, and then went on to USC, where she was named National Player of the Year in 1994. Lisa also won 2 WNBA championships with the Sparks, along with 3 league MVPs. But what she's most proud of, winning 4 gold medals for her country. Lisa will be inducted into the Hall of Fame on September 11th.
Well, it was a big win for the Dodgers, but for the 2nd year in a row, a lot of Dodger fans couldn't watch the game on TV. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia has the latest on the ongoing stalemate that's keeping fans from seeing the games.
Let's make a deal. That's what Roy Velasquez and millions of other Dodger fans are hoping Time Warner Cable and other cable and satellite outlets can do. If not, approximately 70% of Dodger fans in Southern California will be shut out of seeing their boys in blue on TV for a 2nd straight season.
Well, I'm trying to be ashamed of that. It's been 2 years already, and work with the cable company, Very sad about that.
It's very upsetting that even they blank it out on MLB channel or Major League Network channel. Now I just got to either watch ESPN.
Time Warner has still been unable to come to an agreement with major cable and satellite providers in the greater LA area. In a statement, Time Warner Cable says, quote, "We want all Dodger fans to have access to Sportsnet LA. Despite our repeated attempts, other providers are unwilling to engage in any discussions. If Dodger fans want to enjoy Sportsnet LA this season, we encourage them to switch to a provider that carries the network." End quote.
It's frustrating knowing that there's a lot of people out here, a lot of people in LA that have DirecTV that don't have Time Warner, and we're not able to watch the game. But hopefully they can work something out.
It's very frustrating because I can't get it in my area. So if I can't get it in my area, how am I going to watch the favorite team on earth? You know what I mean?
Mina Sarafian says business at his Glendale sports bar will be down 80% because he doesn't have Time Warner Cable.
It's hurting the business. Look at the place. There's nobody. Everybody wants to watch the Dodger game. There's no television.
And he told me he fielded about 100 calls today of potential customers asking if he was going to air today's Dodger game. At Dodger Stadium, I'm Sid Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
More news straight ahead here at 7:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. Police are investigating the mysterious death of a young woman in Alhambra. Is her hot water heater to blame? Plus, how Eyewitness News viewers helped make a dream come true for a 5-year-old girl who battled cancer. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
Hate to dash your hopes through today, but it turns out the internet won't make you smarter. That's according to a new study by a Yale psychology student. He says that when people go online and research things, they feel like they're smarter. But he says finding answers on the web only gives people an inflated sense of their own knowledge. He says his research shows that they're not actually more intelligent.
Really?
Yeah.
not more intelligent?
Just because you looked it up doesn't make you smarter.
Because you know how to research? All right, well, thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 on LA56. Law and Order SCU is next.
Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com. Remember, you can get your news 24 hours a day by following us on Facebook and Twitter and downloading our ABC7 app. Good night.